apologise about this, just internet's absolutely terrible for some reason. So, but I've changed to the one that I ended the last streaming and we never lost connection, so hopefully it's okay on this one. I tested the connection before it and it was actually 5 point something and that, which is actually like better than what it should be, so hopefully this, if I am going to like stream from now on, I'll switch my connection to this one so we don't lose connection, because it's not fair on you guys, so I do apologise to anyone that watches. Pretty ridiculous. Actually, I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet. I'll be long. Right, I'm back. Are we still going? Yeah, we're still going. Thank God for that. Alright, Shock Troop. Highly trained killing machine. Shock Troopers excel in all combats. Increase health, damage, protection. Alright, a commando reliably. Strikes rather than brute force. Increase damage with all weapons, immunity, ability, marksman, assassination. I think I'll go Shock Trooper. Right, I think we will go and find Liara Sony now. I'm not really bothered about the, dog tag like side quests, because they're a little bit pointless, to be honest. They don't really achieve anything. I'm just more bothered about the main story and like the proper like side quests and that. think it's this one. I always forget. Played this so many times, I always really forget. Where's the picture? Yeah, that's the one. That was a glitch there. There was no picture, so I wasn't sure at first, but yeah, that is the right one. Oh, that's my kind of planet. I love it. Rex and Garrus for this one.
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
Whoa! That was a terrible dodge. Save it. Oh my god, it goes. Oh, that's what you get, you silly Venturian.
Visited a Prothean moon, aside from the Citadel.
Dr. Liara to summon.
Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help.
Quit shouting! This place is crawling with Geth.
Sorry, I am a little... Look, my name is Dr. Liara Tassoni. I am an archaeologist. Listen, this thing I'm in is a Prothean security device. I cannot move, so I need you to get me out of it, all right?
How did you end up in there?
I was exploring the ruins when the Geth showed up, so I hid in here. Can you believe that? Geth, beyond the veil! I activated the tower's defenses. I knew the barrier curtains would keep them out. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please!
Your mother is working with Saren. Whose side are you on?
What? I am not on anybody's side. I may be Kinesia's daughter, but I'm nothing like her. I have not spoken to her in years. Please, just get me out of here.
There's some kind of repulsion field in the way.
It's a Prothean barrier curtain. I knew it would keep me safe from the Geth. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please.
You shouldn't have been messing with technology you don't understand.
I wasn't going to let the Geth capture me. Besides, I know how it works. Mostly. There is a control in here that should deactivate this thing. You'll have to find some way past the barrier curtain. That's the tricky part. The defenses cannot be shut off from the outside. I don't know how you'll get in here. Be careful. There is a Krogan with the Geth. They have been trying different ways to get past the barrier. How did you get in here? I didn't think there was any way past the barrier.
We blasted through with the mining laser.
Of course. Yes, that makes sense. Please, get me out of here before more Geth arrive. That button over there should shut down this containment field.
Any idea how we get out of this place?
There is an elevator back in the center of the tower. At least I think it's an elevator. It should take us out of here. Come on!
Come on!
I still cannot believe all this. Why would the Geth come after me? Do you think Benezia's involved?
Saren's looking for the conduit. You're a Prothean expert. Obviously he wants you to help him find it.
The conduit? But I don't know.
What the hell was that?
These ruins are not stable. That mining laser must have triggered a seismic event. We have to hurry. The whole place is caving in.
Joker, get the Normandy airborne and lock in on my signal. On the double, mister.
Aye, aye, Commander. Secure and away. ETA 8 minutes.
If I die in here, I'll kill him. don't. That would be more fun.
We don't have time to deal with this idiot. Charge!
I like your attitude.
Charge!
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Sometimes Joker's a real ass. Just try to ignore him.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn! I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a short-lived... But among the Asari, I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
I've got my own theory on why the Protheans disappeared.
With all due respect, Commander, I have heard every theory out there. The problem is finding evidence to support them. The Protheans left remarkably little behind. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge. Patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point to one specific thing to prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
Get to the point.
The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared. I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
You're not much of an expert, Doctor. The answer's been standing in front of you the whole time. The Protheans were wiped out by a race of machines, the Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Visions? Yes, that makes sense. The beacons were designed to transmit information directly into the mind of the user. Finding one that still works is extremely rare. No wonder the Geth attacked Eden Prime. The chance to acquire a working beacon, even a badly damaged one, is worth almost any risk. But the beacons were only programmed to interact with Prothean physiology. Whatever information you received would have been confused, unclear. I am amazed you were able to make sense of it at all. A lesser mind would have been utterly destroyed by the process. You must be remarkably strong-willed, Commander.
This isn't helping us find Saren, or the conduit.
Of course, you're right. I am sorry, my scientific curiosity got the better of me. Unfortunately, I do not have any information that could help you find the conduit, or Saren.
Looks like we wasted our time here.
Wait, Commander. Saren might try another attempt on my life. I'd feel safer if you let me stay on your ship. Besides, my knowledge of the Protheans might prove useful later.
And her biotics will come in handy when the fighting starts.
We've already got every other non-human species on board. Might as well add an Asari to the team.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate, or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
Go see the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Mission reports are filed, Commander. You want me to patch it through to the Council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
We've received your report, Commander. I understand Dr. Tassoni is on the Normandy.
I assume you're taking security precautions.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
You are free to act as you see fit, Commander. Our role is to offer guidance and advice.
It's up to you if you're smart enough to listen.
I don't need this.
Communications cut, Commander.
Yes, Commander?
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my metal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I, pulled your boots out of the fire.
Saving my boots from burning lava is part of your job, Joker. We don't give medals to soldiers for doing their jobs.
That figures. Just get me a nice card and a cake. No coconut, though. I hate that crap. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Alright, see you.
Commander, do you have a minute?
What's on your mind, Lieutenant?
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
We've got our orders. Belly aching won't change them.
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. it's funny, we finally get out here, and the final frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
I'm sure your letters home are very poignant. Just keep this kind of sentimentality out of the CIC.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry to have wasted your time. I'm right about the mission, though. I know it. Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr. Tassoni. She seems nice enough. Hard to believe she's older than both of us put together.
Just remember, Lieutenant, I saw her first.
They do say Asari are open to that sort of thing, ma'am.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Commander?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
I just want to talk.
Of course. I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I had to save you. You can help me stop Saren.
I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Promises are easy to make, but hard to keep.
I do not begrudge you your suspicions. I just hope in time you will come to trust me.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
So you'll have sex with anything?
Now you see how rumors get started. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits onto our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common. Not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If the parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained.
How you doing?
Or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Why agree to the union if she didn't want any children?
I cannot answer that. This is all speculation on my part. It is possible she wanted to be part of my life, but something happened to her before she had the chance. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your
Do more.
dies?
That's good. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
As long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union.
Why agree to the...
Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived.
Happy it's my last day at college for a few weeks and get away from some weird people. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a 2-week holiday or something, isn't it? Coming up.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
Any chance she's in this for power or personal gain?
No, not the Benezia I knew. But I hadn't spoken with my mother in many years. She may have changed.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Hey, you're right. That doesn't sound very interesting.
On occasion, I have run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumbled across small bands of privateers. That probably does not seem very exciting to someone like you. I guess seeking out history's lost secrets holds a special appeal for me. I would give a century of my life to discover a beacon like the one you found on Eden Prime. You were actually touched by working Prothean technology. That is why I find you so fascinating, Commander.
I'm not some artifact you can take back to your lab, Doctor.
I am sorry, Commander. I did not mean it like that. I am used to dealing with computers and data disks. I am not very good with people. The better of me. Please forgive me. Let us talk about something else.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Yeah, and half the kids do my head in, especially Million. You hear me? we shouldn't say it. This Millie, bless her, she only wants a boyfriend. But the way she goes about it, just wrong, yeah? Christ, I mean, I know I was like going through my gate, but that felt like the longest elevator ever.
Looking for supplies?
Hey, gosh.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Sell some shit. Ooh. Amy, her boyfriend, is my best mate. Last week she was joking about saying she was pregnant now. Is that really appropriate? Well, yeah, like, yeah, joking about something like that is a bit, like, unusual, isn't it? I mean, technically, that's something you only bring up, and that if it's actually, you know, like, legit, like, if like, it's real. So, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, well, off that fucking thought of the match on set. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, to be honest, it was actually it was quite interesting that you actually thought the same as me, and that's you know when I did the preview when you said about even you think it would be a bit daft and that like going with a back four. I mean, don't get us wrong, whatever Alex Neil goes with and that, like, I back him, I support him and that, because, to be honest, there's a lot of games since he's been here where his tactics and his substitutions have, you know, won us games, you know, where technically, like, in the past, and that we probably would have dropped points. So I do believe Alex Neil knows what he's doing, but, like I said, if he goes with a back four, then fair enough, but I just feel like against a team like Oxford that do have the quality that they have, especially Matty Taylor up front, and obviously like Sir James, you know, James Henry, Cameron Brannigan. I just feel like going with a back four against them might be a little bit like daft. If we're playing Oxford at home, maybe a back four, but I just feel like away from home, I think it'd be a bit more sensible, you know, sensible than that, and to go back to a back three. Just to make sure that we are solid. I mean, yeah, back four worked against Gillingham, but we weren't really troubled. I mean, they didn't really have much ambition, did they?
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with C-Sec a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this.
I trust Alex Neil, I don't think playing the back four is right to play this Oxford. I think they will tear us. Yeah, possibly, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, and that's we might doubt that, but you never know. He might go for back four, and we might keep a clean sheet, we might win comfortably. You never know. But I just feel like, just to be on the safe side, probably best to like go back to a back three. But that's the thing. We know what Alex Neil's like. I mean, yeah, people might say he chops and changes a lot, but with Alex Neil, compared to like previous managers, he changes it a lot because he goes with a system and the team that he thinks is right against the opposition that we're up against, and that. So it's not like he's chopping and changing for the sake of it. He's doing it to make sure that we get a result against the opposition and a certain way to approach the game. So yeah. So that's a figure that he always changes anywhere, and that just to. I mean, what we have to realise as well is the man hasn't had a transfer window either. I mean, to be honest, right, even though our season could end badly, from his own point of view, he has done a very good job since he's come in. He's only lost one game. We're keeping clean sheets, 5 clean sheets in 6, we're 7 games unbeaten. It's just a shame he didn't come in sooner. If we had Alex Neil earlier, we would have already had top 6 secured by now. And that, but if we don't get top 6, it's not his fault. That's down to the players and the ownership of the club. If we don't get top 6, I'm not putting it down to Alex Neil. And that, because by his own standards, he's done a good job. Without, I mean, aside from Alex Pritchard, he's never even worked with these players before. So yeah.
What happened? Why were you investigating him?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Must have been harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or some Krios harvesting organs from citizens.
True. All these things are ifs and buts, and agree with the change. I don't mind people change teams if they're logic to it, but if you only change for the sake of it, what lines? Yeah. I mean, technically, in a way, that's kind of like what Johnson used to do sometimes. He used to chop and change, but there wasn't any logic to it, there was no reasoning to it sometimes. I mean, in a way, when you think about it, right, like, if you go back early in the season, we beat Blackpool 3-2 in the Carabao Cup, right? In reality, right, whether you like the bloke or not, right, I know he's gone now, but in reality, any other manager, if he had no O'Brien scored a hat-trick against Championship side, he'd be in the team for the next game, wouldn't he? He'd be starting the game, because he'd be rewarded for getting a hat-trick in the Cup. But no, he's dropped to the bench. And technically, that made no sense. It would have made perfect sense if O'Brien had actually got a start after getting the hat-trick, so, yeah.
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the Psychos. I remember this one L-Corps diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs, had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut.
O'Brien should have playfully agree with what he... Oh yeah, exactly. And that, yeah, I was actually like thinking about like what O'Brien actually said.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
See, in a way, that's why. I mean, even I said this before. It's not the first time that Johnson actually did this, because he did it last season as well. Remember, O'Brien scored the winning goal against Bristol Rovers. I thought he was man of the match that day, and then he's dropped the next game. Makes no sense. And that, in a way, right. Alright, I liked O'Brien, but I will admit, we didn't see the best of him, but come on, it didn't help when he's in the team 1 week and then he's dropped after a good game. That doesn't help, that really doesn't help. No, that's ridiculous, that.
You're kidding, right?
No, the way Johnson treated players like O'Brien, even Maguire to an extent, I know Maguire was poor last season, but the way he treated Maguire as well, I think it was disgusting at times, and I think it's actually the same with O'Brien as well.
10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set. Somebody's making a killing out there.
What'd you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Good thinking. Lackeys are always easier to scare.
Exactly. Though in this case it paid off in a different way. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview.
John's deserve these favours, to be honest. I don't like what McGady.
I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
Our medics found incisions all over his body. Some of them fresh. That was a big break. These people weren't just Dr. Saleon's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
So he was growing spare parts in his own employees.
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs. They wouldn't listen.
No wonder you hated it there. Those idiots just let him fly away.
Yes, they did. I went to Patton and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
A few casualties is a small price to pay to stop someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those hostages might be wishing they'd died by now anyway. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's it.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salian?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
Neil strikes me as the type of bloke who takes no shit, like, for example, if you're not playing well. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, and that like you see him like on the touchline, or you see him in these press conferences, or he's like post-match interviews and stuff, and that. I mean, he comes across as like a miserable bastard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like he does, but that proves that he has got that character. He's got that fire in him and stuff. Where if he's not happy with what he sees, that obviously you can tell that he will have a go at them in the dressing room, and he is quite animated on the touchline, and you can see me pointing and shouting and stuff, and. He never like sits down. He never sits down. He's always standing on the touchline as well. So sometimes he's pretty much like almost on the pitch sometimes. So
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that, but Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Saleon, I'm gonna be.
I know this like doesn't mean anything, right? Because it's just appearance. But what I do kind of respect as well is he's not bothered about his appearance either, right? You know, where he always just wears like a coat or like a hoodie and stuff and tracksuit bottoms and stuff. He's not like bothered about wearing a suit or anything like that. I kind of respect that, because he's like I couldn't give a shit like what I wear. The main priority is like, you know, making sure that the team are performing and getting the result.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story.
Yeah, but like I said, I think he was too soft with him.
I'm not sure I believe it either. It's better to have her where we can see her.
That makes sense. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years.
I mean, yeah, I would have like maybe thought Johnson shouted at them. You know, like if the bounce, you know, like if we didn't get multiple hammer-ons, but the fact that these hammer-ons happened quite a lot, excuse me, proves that you let these players get away with it all the time.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Caden in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Are you interested in the Lieutenant Chief?
Fraternization is against regulations, ma'am. Don't ask, don't tell. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Chief, should you be that casual with your...
Sorry, Commander. Too much in the family mindset. My sisters and I have always been close. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
From what I heard, some players walked all over, so if Renegade or Gooch wasn't happy about something, he would sort it for them, but if O'Brien wasn't happy about something, he wouldn't. Yeah, that's not right, that. Like, each individual player like has to be treated the same and that. Like, it's no good, like, listening to some and, like, helping others, but, like, not, like, another one. That's wrong, that.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah. Took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
Next you'll tell me you all ran across green fields singing show tunes.
Don't knock show tunes. I might have to take exception. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like your father wasn't around much. Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet.
Even if you don't rate the player, you have to... Exactly.
Family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
Is the rest of your life story this dull?
Not everyone can bust up a slaver ring on their first tour, Commander. Some of us just live ordinary lives. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though.
He's not a zombie, is he?
You know, from heaven, wherever that is. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
You start preaching in the CIC, we'll have a problem.
Commander, I'm not some kind of zealot. I believe in God. What everyone else believes is their business. I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Fulton 09.
Rifles don't
He's best placed for me, right back or wing back.
Anyway.
He's awful in midfields. I wouldn't like necessarily say he's awful in mid. I don't mind 09 as a number 10. Like, I think he can do a job as a number 10 because he has actually getting goals from that position before, but it's just right now he's not really going to get much of a chance as a number 10, so it just seems like if 09 does play, he's going to play in central midfield, but for me it's got to be a number 10 or it's got to be right back. If he's not going to play in either of those positions, then you might as well just leave him on the bench. But there again, 09 coming off the bench is a good option, to be fair. So, yeah. I mean, that's why, for me, I wouldn't actually start him, you know, like, on Saturday. Anyway, I'm gonna have to leave it there because I've gotta go get some like stuff done now. But I do appreciate everyone that has stopped by, and that, like, if you're watching the stream now or if you're watching back. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, whenever that is. So yeah. 49 wasn't happy playing right back, and he played his whole Sun and Cream midfield. He wouldn't be. Yeah, possibly. So, yeah, catch you later, mate. So yeah, I'll catch you next time. Take care. Peace.